What's up, everybody? It's time for the market analysis video. It is Tuesday, June 14th at around 7:30 Eastern time PM, and looking at the SPY today. I already did a gold video, so if you haven't checked out the gold video and where gold could possibly go in the different scenarios with the two event risks we have going forward, which is the FOMC meeting and the Brexit vote, you should go check that video out. But this is the video for the market. So looking at the SPY today, formed a doji right around that 50-day moving average, which is what I've been saying was the next area of support. So I've been saying that it's nice to be right. Stinks to be wrong. Nice to be right. But formed a doji there. Looks like we have some resistance. Had some significant volume. So it looks like the bulls are putting up a battle here at the 50-day. Now this doesn't mean we can't go lower tomorrow into this area. But as you can see, this is was the first line of defense, and it closed above it. So the bulls definitely came in, buyers definitely came in at this level. So that tells me that we probably won't go much past that without some significant piece of information, and that could be the Brexit vote. It could be something extreme hawkishness at the FOMC meeting, but we would need some kind of market spooking event, I think, for us to go much past, let's say, the 205 area. And I think it's very likely, especially with a more dovish FOMC, or what's perceived to be a more dovish FOMC meeting, that we could bounce and go higher here. I expect this to be in a little bit of a quiet morning market session tomorrow until the FOMC meeting, and that at which point there might be some volatility released and we could go either direction, but it could get very choppy, so be cautious of that. But this does look like it could be a good buying opportunity if you feel like you have a read on what you feel like the Fed is doing. I would skew towards the likelihood of outcomes being market positive for the FOMC meeting are probably greater than 50%. So I would lean towards the bullish side of the FOMC meeting. And probably that would mean that the dollar might take a little bit of a breather off of the FOMC meeting. That's my read, that's where I think the probability is, but we'd have to see how that goes. Obviously, I don't have any insider information or knowledge about what the FOMC. I'm just basing it off of how I feel they react to the market, what they look at, what they say based on where the market is going and what headwinds are happening and how the job numbers have been, etc., etc. So that's my take on that. Looking at the Qs, obviously a little bit more bullish than the SPY, even bounced off the 200-day moving average. So once again, we see buying coming in at a likely point. And the Russell kind of at this high here. Now, that being said, this looks like it could go a little bit further down from here. The SPY and the NASDAQ look like they're at logical points. The Russell looks like it could fall further from here, or it could just tread sideways as the other ones go up. But that's a little bit interesting to note. I already looked at gold. Looking at oil, closed pretty much right on the 200-day moving average. Actually caught a bit of a bid after selling off early, and so along with that, it would make sense that we get a bounce here as well. If we're bouncing along with the dollar, we've got this resistance area, this support area, excuse me, kind of in here, and we're right in the middle of that. So I think the likelihood of a bounce here is high, is above 50%. All right, so now I will post trade setups pictures in the morning, but I want to go over them real quick here. So these are based off of strategies that I have that look at technicals and things like seasonality and industry relative strength. So, and then they trigger trades that, and these are all back tested strategies that are proven to perform. The short strategies obviously don't perform as well. It's hard to have a winning short strategy in the long run, but they still outperform any random shorting strategy, and so you can use them as a hedge, or if you have a discretionary idea that it matches, you can take that as well. So an example of that is I took a short in Shake Shack a little while back, and it's performing really well because it triggered as a trade, and I agreed with it on a discretionary basis. All right, so the first one, BDX, for the July 15th expiration date. So obviously looks like it got quite a bit of buying off of opening lower here, and it's a little bit of a flag formation. Obviously very bullish action upside, a little bit of a sideways action, and it looks like it could go higher from here. We've got the next one is Cisco. This looks like an outperforming version of the SPY of late. So we had this, instead of a pullback that we saw, in the NASDAQ, not the SPY, the Qs. It looks similar to the Qs. So if we look here, Qs falling down, Cisco staying where it is. So it looks like there's some accumulation there. So this is for July 1st. So that could be a good one. July 1st expiration. We've got FE, First Energy. Looks like it consolidating at the 50-day. So I would wait for a clean break over that. And that's for July 15th expiration. So triggered for tomorrow at the close till July 15th. That's what that means. FI, this is a foreign one, which is a little bit interesting, but it's oil and gas. So this is looks like it's hitting at support at the 250-day. So again, that looks like a good one. HBI, Hanes Brands. This is an interesting one. It triggered. Obviously looks like it caught some support down here. I'm not sure I would take this one per se. Looks like it's got some resistance to lean on up here, so I'm not sure I would go with this one. Oh, that being said, I read that wrong. It's actually a short strategy. So this actually is a good-looking short to me. So it's got resistance up here. Geez, yeah, my strategy agrees with me. So got a short strategy, resistance up here. This looks like a good short to me. Even as a hedge, if you think the market is going to bounce like I would, this still looks like a good short setup. Another long, IFF, July 15th expiration. And I will post the rest of these at the market open. So I will at a pre-market tomorrow. So with all that said, as always, Trade Kraken at Trade Kraken, KRAKEN. Follow me on Twitter, StockTwits. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed already. Why not? Subscribed. I appreciate all the comments, all the likes, all the follows. I really appreciate it. God bless. Good luck. Great trading.